Well, good morning. Good Monday morning. You made it through the weekend. Congratulations. Apparently, you didn't end up in jail. That's good. So we're back again with another episode, our fourth episode?
Yes.
Fourth.
Four.
Fourth episode. Fifth flow. That's only for some of y'all. That's not for all y'all. It's only for some of y'all. Our fourth episode of Real Talk with Deb and Will. It's going to be a big week. We're going to do our program this morning for you, and as you can see in the show notes, we're going to talk about what people say they want. The Valentines Day episode is coming out on Wednesday. It'll be a pre-recorded one. It won't be live. And then on Friday, this Friday, at Harvest Church of Tampa here in Wesley Chapel, Florida, you can see us live at our church is putting on a thing called Straight Talk. It's about relationships, about the science of relationships. So if you are in the Tampa Bay area, and that means Hillsborough, Pinellas, Polk, Pasco, Manatee County, because that's the Tampa area, and you want to see us live, just all you have to do is ask us for the address, and I'll type the address down in the show notes when we get done. Well, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing fabulous.
Fantastic. All right. I guess this morning is my lead, which is okay.
Yes, it is.
Which is okay because this was kind of my idea. Like a lot of people talk about the differences in men and women, and a lot of times these conversations boil down to simply what do people want in a relationship? What do they want from a spouse? What do they want from somebody they're in relationship with? And it seems like that. It seems like that list would be the same. But that list oftentimes is not the same. And I don't think that a lot of times people articulate early enough what they want. Now, what you want in a relationship isn't a checklist. Now, you can't want somebody in a relationship to be 6'5". That's not what we're talking about.
No. Not the physical aspects of someone, but the aspects that are going to make or break your relationship.
Yeah. It's more of an emotional, what does somebody need to be in a relationship with? And those things are, it's funny, people think they know what they are, but they're oftentimes radically different. And I think a lot of times men and women confuse that because they think that whatever you want is what somebody else wants. Because if you want it, it must be good, right? So everybody wants that, right? Well, often that's not how it works, and I think that
Because it's all about you.
Well, yes, yes.
Not.
But I think that a lot of times that because that happens, there are some expectations in relationships that don't get met, and that's the worst thing. The worst thing is expectations that don't get met, and we talk about this in personal relationships as well as business relationships or any kind of relationships when expectations don't get met.
Even the basic, just a friendship. I mean, our base of this show is about marriage, but there are other aspects of a relationship as well. You want to keep your friends, your best friend, and coworkers, and all of those who are. That's a relationship. You have various relationships in your life, and we have to work on all of them to keep them healthy.
Yeah, that is so true, and there are expectations of those relationships, your friend relationships, your coworker relationships, and I think it's important that a lot of times that maybe because a lot of times we don't really have it articulated in our own brains, so we don't know what we want. It's like going to McDonald's and going,
give me
I think I'll take and you got a lot of people waiting, so I think that you have to start thinking about these things yourself. So we're going to get right to the list. It's getting a little late. The three things that I think that most men want. Now, again, everybody is different, which causes a real live pain in the ass most of the time. Because if you could just write it down, everybody could just follow it, and it would just be awesome. But that's not really how life is. Everybody's a little different. Everybody's a little quirky. Everybody wants something a little different. But generally speaking, this is my thought of generally speaking. I think that and I'm not going to list them in any particular order, Because
order of importance.
because that'll draw argument, and I don't want argument. And I'll draw. I think that's number one. I don't want that kind of argument. But I think one of the things that that men in relationship, and especially in an emotional, romantic marriage relationship, are looking for that maybe women don't know is encouragement. Yes, the male ego is fairly fragile. I liken it often to a Fabergé egg made of crystal. And frankly, it's caused men to do crazy stuff when it's broken. It's caused them to act out in really negative ways. It's caused them to do things like become a hermit and cut themselves off because it's fairly fragile. Because there's so much pressure to accomplish and do in our society, and that's not necessarily wrong, but it's encouragement. I think it's one of those things that oftentimes gets mistaken or gets left out. Because men a lot of times seem, they seem confident enough. You don't need to encourage a guy who's that confident. Well, yeah, you do.
Men can fake it very well.
Well, yeah, things are fine. And then we get in our car and go, oh, God, what a mess. That is my fault. Yeah. So encouragement is one of the things that's on my list for guys.
Okay.
Encouragement.
I'm working on that. I think I do pretty well now. I'm learning. That's the thing. When you're fresh in a marriage and starting out and stuff, you're not going to get all of these key things. You're not going to get it right because most of the time in the beginning of your marriage, it's all about me. What's wrong with me? Why I got to do this and blah, blah, blah. But as you grow older, you learn that it's not all about you. It's about your partner as well. And you have to, if you take care of your partner first, all the other stuff comes to you. And I try to support you, encourage you.
Please. Encourage your partner.
Yes. I think on my list, and this is not in order of importance either, but a woman wants to feel love in action, romance, and all the things like that. Even as you get older, you don't stop wanting to be romanced. And it's not even about the sexual aspect of it. That's the bad part for men, is that that women want to be romanced and see love in action. And it's not just about flowers and candy and roses and stuff like that. Just little things. I love the aspect that Willie, he texts me sometime during the middle of the day and just say little sweet things that about our weekend or what we did a few days ago and stuff, and that he's thinking about it, and I do that back to him too. So we try to keep some spice in it. But romance, little gestures like leaving notes and text messages and little things just to know that he's thinking about you in the middle of the day, even though he's working or he may be doing something like that. That's what women like, and it attracts them.
That's why I have unlimited text messages. That's why we got unlimited text messages. Yeah, always have, always have. I think Debbie's right. Keeping contact. I think during the day in that manner is really, really important. A lot of times people go off into their corners when they leave in the morning to go to work or whatever, and they don't communicate all day. And then when you come home, everybody's full with their day.
Especially women.
Especially
women want to talk.
Are full with their day. Now, and the difference is that women, I think, want to talk about it, and men want to forget about it. How was your day? It sucked. Every day sucks. Well, but then the next question is, well, why did it suck?
Details.
I don't want
We
to talk.
want details.
I obviously don't want to talk about it. I'm glad it's over. I'm glad to be here. So, you sort of, guys, listen to me. This is important. You sort of, during the course of the day, you sort of take that little pressure, like a little steam thing, off the day, over the course of the day, and that's a good thing. And then you can be sweet in the text message or the email or whatever is appropriate. So is that constant, we're together all day communication that my wife likes.
And I was thinking about this. You know, we grew up, there weren't text messages and
There were
emails
not.
when we were in our early parts of our marriage. And thank God for phones on the desk and different things like that, because, and then we used to do notes more so back then than we do, you know. Yes, we survived having a child and having a marriage without cell phones and being able to email and keep in contact all day long. So if we survive that in this day and age,
It should be a little easier.
yes.
It should be a little easier. All right. I think the second, again, in no order of importance, is affection. I think that guys want affection, and I don't necessarily mean sex, although I mean sex. I don't necessarily mean sex, but I do mean sex. And because of the very same thing, it doesn't seem like men need encouragement. Men do need affection. They need to be felt that their spouse or the person they're relationship with is affectionate towards them. And I think that's important. I think that's more important than a lot of times the pressure to act affectionately, because it's easy for guys to feel isolated. It's really easy for your spouse to feel isolated. Now there is a couple of reasons here, because he may not be someone who has learned to communicate very well, or communicate in a way that you, his wife, or his girlfriend, or what can really understand right now. And that's something else you have to get. But in that, guys can feel really isolated. They can really feel alone, and sometimes affection affection doesn't always have to lead to sex, but affection should always lead to sex. No,
But it's nice if it does.
It's fabulous if it does. Well, spectacular, as a matter of fact, was the word we got yesterday. Spectacular. But that sort of affection is really, really important. I don't think that in today's world that most guys, while walking down the street, if indeed their wife reaches out and touches their hand and wants to hold hands, would refuse them. You know why? It isn't because just they like, and here's a secret, and I am not throwing away my man card. As a matter of fact, I just got my man card endorsed by this statement. It's not only that your wife likes it, you like it too. Those acts of affection are very, very important. And now I'm going to talk about married folks now. The touching, little pat every now and again. Men like that because it makes us. Because again, men like to feel attractive too, or they like to think that their wife or their girlfriend thinks they're attractive and desirable too. Yes. That isn't just a female thing.
It's okay to pinch them sometimes.
Yeah, don't bite me though.
I like to bite.
It's bite. But I think that affection is one of those things that that a lot of guys want and need in relationships. So that's very, very important. Again, and I've got two more. We've got actually three more total. So what we're going to do is, if it's okay, we're going to go ahead. I have a Spaceport Productions has a client. We have a client that we're trying to help grow her business. She is a stylist. Her name is Carla Jordan. And so what we're going to do is we're going to, while we have your attention, and we do have your attention, this is why we're doing this on Debbie's Facebook page as opposed to my own, because obviously my friends aren't really all that concerned with hair and hairstyling. Her name is Carla Jordan. She owns a place called Boss Hair Boutique here in Tampa. Again, if you are in the Tampa Bay area, you can participate here because all the stuff, the contact information is on the little spot. We'll be back right after this message. Tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got into this business, and what your business is all about, and what makes you and what you do unique.
Carla Jordan. I'm a professional hairstylist. I've been a professional hairstylist for over 10 years. What makes my business unique is that I'm very big on education. I'm also very considerate about my customers' time. I know a lot of people have complaints when they go to a salon about wait time and 100 people waiting. It's never like that at Boss Hair Boutique. I take my time with each client. I also give them personal attention. So whenever you come to Boss Hair Boutique, you will get that personal, professional touch and attention.
Is there something that you specialize in? Because this business has become very much specialized. People who specialize in braiding, people who specialize in natural hair. Is there something that you specialize in?
Not necessarily. I just specialize in trying to meet my clients' needs. I do a variety of styles, from relaxers to shortcuts to natural styles to quick weaves to sew-ins, and even some braids and dreadlock styles. I really try not to specialize in one particular arena because I don't want my clients to have to hop around from shop to shop. I believe when people do that, they compromise the integrity of their hair, and they don't get everything they need out of each stylist that they may go to. So I try to provide versatility to my clients.
That makes a lot of sense. So tell people where you're located and what your hours are.
I'm located on North 56th Street at 7402 Corporate Square in Building 800, Suite D. My hours are pretty much, I don't want to say 24 hours, but I am available at a lot of odd times to my clients because I do like to take care of my clients personally. So, but my office hours would, for the majority, would be Tuesday through Saturday. Mainly from 9 to 6, but I do stay late Thursday and Friday.
So how are people going to get a hold of you?
I can be reached at 813-770-1174.
What's that again?
813-770-1174. And you can also follow me on Instagram at Boss Hair Boutique.
All right. Well, Carla, thank you ever so much for spending some time with us. I know that a lot of people are looking for a personal stylist like yourself to take care of all of their needs, as opposed to just one thing that some people do, and not being in the salon 6 and 7 hours every time they come. So that's very, very special. Again, thanks for spending time with us. We appreciate it. We'll talk to you very soon.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we're back. I gave you have there the information. It's here. Her shop is here in Tampa, over on 56th Street, just south of Temple Terrace. And if you're interested, give her a call and get a consultation. As you heard, that she's really able to do a lot of different styles, and she likes a lot of different styles, and she likes the idea of one-stop shopping. So you don't have to go to one person to get your hair braided and another person to take care of it because you have natural hair, or you know what, or another person if you get a what do they call it?
Relax.
Yeah, I keep thinking it's a process. You know, like James Brown.
It's the same
like
thing.
James Brown had a process. It was fried, dyed, and laid to the side.
It's the same thing.
That's only for some of y'all too. The whole fried, dyed, and laid to the side. That's not for everybody. If you don't understand what I'm talking about, you don't have to. But that's our friend Carla Jordan at Boss Hair Boutique here in Tampa. So it's your turn, right? Let's see, I did 2, right?
I think so.
And you did one, so it's time for you.
Another thing that I have realized that women like is security. They want to feel safe and secure. Um, that aspect is also as far as physically, um, financially, um, secure in everything that is part of your relationship. They want to know, like he was saying, they want to know that you are attracted to them, and that you want to spend time with them. Safety and security, you want to have that in different aspects of your relationship. They want to know that their bills are being paid and that they can be secure with that. They want to know that you're not going to be looking at other women. That's safety in the relationship. You're not looking for other women to occupy your time. Like when you go out to work and stuff, they want to know for sure that you. That's why the aspect of the texting and all that stuff, and you know then that he's not thinking about that woman that's sitting in the office next to him. He's thinking about you because he's texting you.
Yeah, and it helps to work around really old, ugly women. Maybe none of the people at my work are going to say this, but anyway, and you're right. Security is an important thing. I think it's important that men realize that, because most of us would would live under a tree, or next to a big warm rock, if it were just us. Most of us would live in our car, no doubt. Most of us would live in our car if it were just us. And we have to understand that women do want that security and aren't as fly by the seat of their pants as we are, and especially as we were in our youth, where I think most guys I know spent at least some of their 20s technically homeless. Couch surfing makes you technically homeless. So you know what, we were good with it. Nobody knew, and it was okay. And so we have that mentality, like, it'll be okay, it'll be okay, it'll be okay. And, you know, frankly, most of the time it is okay. But we have to understand that a lot of times our spouses and the women in our lives want a little bit more security, a little bit more planning, a little bit more than we would want for ourselves. So I think we a lot of times have to be aware of that. The third thing that I think people need, and I don't even think that most guys know this, but it would solve, my view, a lot of situations, is patience. Patience. And it's because, like I just talked about, that transition from I can live in my car and you can, because you've done it. You've lived in your car. You've stayed over at friends and slept on their couch, or not even on their couch because another friend was on the couch. You actually had to sleep on the floor because only one of your buds had an apartment. So y'all had to bunk up where you could. And you could live that way. And now now your mentality, what you see, how you see things, has to change. It's patience. I think that patience is extremely, extremely important. And I think that most men would benefit because we really require patience. We are simple creatures, very much simple creatures. There are only a few, what is that? Comfort. I can't remember what that phrase is. I should have written it down. Creature comforts. That's the word. Like creature comforts that we require. That's it. Most of us like to poop inside. We don't have to pee inside. Again, we're very simple creatures. And I think that the sooner that you realize that the man in your life is a fairly simple creature, when you ask him what he's thinking about, and he says nothing, I can guarantee 97.8% of the time, that's exactly it. Nothing. Zero. I was just sitting here. I was just sitting here. But I think it's patience. I think that in a relationship, anyway, I need patience. Patience. So hang on a second. Thanks. Thanks for your patience.
And you have a lot more of that than I do. So that's why
I can wait.
There's a difference in women and men.
I'll wait you out. Okay.
I think what I wrote down several things, so I guess I have to pick one of them, the last one. But attention and straightforwardness. I know a lot of times women, we tend to see our guys, struggling with stuff and different things. And like you said, when we come home, we'll ask, well, how was your day? And we get, it was okay, and that was it. But we want you to be straightforward sometimes. We want to know what you're thinking about. We want to help. We want to be, to take some of the load off of you. A lot of times when we talk about stuff and you take that burden on, a lot of times we don't want it to be solved. We just want to talk. We don't really want you to fix it. And a lot of times fixing it isn't the solution. A lot of times just listening to us complain about it is all we need.
Which is always, especially in young relationships, as I've watched people's relationships, is a bone of it ends up being a bone of contention. And this is a really salient point here, because this is something I think that everybody goes through, and guys have to learn exactly that, because we like to solve the puzzle. We want also to be the knight in shining armor that has all the solutions, and we get really upset with ourselves, basically, and despondent even sometimes when we're not the person to do that. Debbie talked about security. When men aren't the ones, because of their job situation or career choices or bad career choices, are not the ones that can provide the security that they know their spouse needs. As a matter of fact, that we can't really provide it in the way that we like to. Then everything then at that point is based on that. Everything for the guy is at that level now, and when you add that. They're asking you to be straightforward. They're asking you to say, tell me what's wrong. Well, guys already feel like there's a whole bunch wrong to start with. I'm not going to lay one more thing on you that I should be carrying myself, and guys feel that way. So it's really important to understand, guys, that sometimes they just want you to tell them. They just want you to tell them. Now, and the caveat is that the guys feel, if I tell you, then I'm asking you to help me with it, and you're already doing so much, you see, because so now we have to understand, we have to get rid of the Oprah teaching that all men and women are the same, when obviously we are not. We process information differently. We hear things differently because we process it differently, and we internalize them differently.
God made us different for a reason.
For giggles.
Yes.
You're like, ah!
We're Comedy Central for him.
That's exactly right.
But I think
Adam's like, I need a helper. Oh God, I need a helper. And he was like, are you sure? Oh God, I need a helper. All right, go to sleep. Ow! Oh, what was that? Your helper.
I'm making you a helper.
You happy? Yes. Yeah, I'm going to talk to Adam and say, all this is your fault. All of this is your fault.
But we are. Now I lost my train of thought.
Which is what I'm really good at. I'm an expert. It's an art form.
But I wanted to fit this one little thing in. Women like humor. that is one of the things, and you'll find out in our how we met video, is one of the things that I really loved about him is that he made me laugh a lot, and and it was fun being around him. And humor in a relationship makes it last longer, I feel. If you can laugh about situations, I know back when we were struggling financially, you know, when we started having a little money, it was hilarious that we forgot to pay our electric bill. We have money and don't pay the bill.
How stupid is that? have a have a handful of money and going, are you turning off the lights? Well, here. Guys, I can't take that. Oh, crap. What happened? I just forgot. I think
that doesn't happen anymore.
No, I think that humor is the oil sometimes that gets you through the dry places. It helps you get through the dry places. Because I'll tell you what, frankly, I don't care how good your financial situation is. I don't care how good you have it, where you live and your job and all that stuff. Every relationship that's going to last any length of time will hit dry spots. Will hit the things that are tough, and it's usually as people are adjusting, and it's not always smooth. And I think that humor in it will oftentimes be that salve that smooths things out a little bit as you're moving to the next good thing in your life. So don't forget to laugh. You know, I love to see old couples, like people in their 80s who've been married 50 years.
I thought we were old couples.
No, we're brand new couples.
We just got married.
We just got married in December, so we're newlyweds at this, but we just got really smart really fast. But I love to see them laugh because they've got sort of like this private thing where they've been through a lot, so they see it, so they crack each other up all the time. Why? Because it's the salve to get them over the hard things. You may have health problems, health situations. You may have all sorts of stuff that happens in your lives, in your relationship. That humor's the thing that makes it a little easier. That helps you get through it. So don't forget
to laugh. Don't
forget to laugh because there's some stuff that's funny.
At yourself and at your partner.
And yes, guys, sometimes they're not laughing with you. Sometimes they are laughing at you. And you know what? It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. You know, one of the sounds that I got used to waking to when my son was in high school was my wife and my son laughing at something that they were doing or talking about
in the morning.
Yes, loud enough to wake me up. But did I ever get it? I never bust out the door and go, "Why is everybody making so much damn noise out there? I'm trying to sleep." No, because I understand that, you know what, that laughter has gone a long way in their relationship and how they identify one another. And he can still crack you up.
Yes, he does. We still have that little relationship where when he comes home from work and we'll sit together and chit chat and talk about his day. He inherited that sense of humor from his father.
He's a funny kid.
He is very hilarious. So any young lady that's out there, we got a pretty good son, if you will.
He's good. He's a good guy. I tell people all the time that I would like this kid even if he weren't my kid. I would. Because he's funny and he's extremely smart and he's sensitive. He's like me. Okay, well, it's about time that we bust out of here and make room for somebody else. Again, don't miss the Valentine's Day presentation on Wednesday, right? Wednesday, yes. The 14th.
On Valentine's Day.
On Valentine's Day.
Don't forget your sweetie.
Do something. Do something. Guys, do something. Don't do this. I'm going to help you. Don't do this. Do not go to 7-Eleven and buy one of them big-ass cards. Don't do it.
Women don't like those.
They don't like them. All right. You're in the mall. Do not go to Victoria's Secret and buy them drawers. Do not. Do not, because that present isn't for them, it's for you. You want to buy them drawers, I'll tell you what day to go. April 29th. And you're like, well, what's April 29th? It's to buy your spouse some drawers day. Do not. Do not. Valentine's Day oftentimes is the worst gift-giving day ever. So if you feel like you need to give a gift, just ask them what they want. And if you can get it, go get it. Bring it back to the house.
And sometimes all they want is to spend time with you.
They don't need or want the whole Hallmark thing with the card and the flowers and the
They
candy
just want to spend
and the dinner
day with you.
So you might want to just block out some time and say, you know what, today we're just going to hang out for a while. We're just going to go hang out at the park. We're just going to go chill somewhere. And especially as your relationship gets better. So that's on Wednesday. Don't miss that particular program. And on Friday, for those of you in the Tampa Bay area, Pasco, Polk, Pinellas, Hillsborough, Manatee counties, our church is doing a thing called Straight Talk, Signs of Relationships, and we'll be there on the panel. So if you want to meet us live and give us money or whatever, what? Bring cash. Although if you don't have cash, give me a second here. Give me a second. And all you have is your debit card.
Come out and see us and have a good time, fellowship with us.
I was square.
We
For your
would
credit
like
card
to,
for your credit card donations.
we would like to meet people, and even if you just want to ask some questions that you don't feel comfortable with posting on here and on YouTube, don't forget to go on and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We post these events on there, and we plan on doing some more things on YouTube.
On the YouTube.
Some personal things and different things like that. I'm not up to the vlogging thing yet.
Those people who are able to stay home every day, all day long.
They vlogging
So
and
you
the
get to know
hauls and all that.
So you get to know their
stuff
dogs. They're their dogs.
and cleaning and all of that. If you are not a fan of YouTube, go on there sometimes. There's some interesting things.
It's nutty.
It's some interesting things on there. I don't know if you know about mukbangs and all of that, but there's a lot of stuff.
Videos of people eating.
And people make money from doing that.
And YouTube pays them money. Crazy. All right, like I said, it's time for us to get out of here, and we got stuff to do. I'll be at the Tampa Bay Tech Startups event all day in downtown Tampa, until I have to go to work. And so if you are in the area, if you're watching, and you want to buy me a cup of coffee at the foundation, rock and roll. We'll see you there. All right, we got to get out of here.
Do a picture
and make room for somebody else. So until we see you again, go out there and learn something, love somebody, and for goodness sakes, y'all take care of yourself.
What is it called?